Alright, bitches, we're on to episode 38 of Dragon Ball Super. This one is called Universe 6's Strongest Warrior Meet the Assassin Hit. Okay, so finally we're gonna get to see Hit, beginning this fight against Vegeta. I'm pumped for this one, for sure. Alright, so the episode opens up with Vegeta and Hit kind of, standing in the ring preparing to fight. And Vegeta starts thinking to himself that, Hit is hiding his energy. And Vegeta says that from what little amount that is, seeping out and he's able to sense, he can tell that Hit is very, very powerful. Then at this point, it kind of cuts to a lot of the different spectators. Like, Beerus thinks that he might have heard from him before. Whis mentions that he's the best assassin of Universe 6. And he's never failed at eliminating his target, so he's famously known as the Flawless Hit. Beerus kind of expresses a little bit of excitement towards this upcoming fight, because clearly it's going to be a good one. And Beerus shoots a blast to kind of at the gong, and that kind of signifies the beginning of the fight. And then at that moment you see Monica actually kind of you could tell that he wakes up and looks around, and then back down in the fight, Vegeta actually immediately turns Super Saiyan Blue, and then that appears to cause Monica to pass out again. So it looks like Monica might be a fake after all and does not really have much power. We'll see though, not for sure yet. Seeing Vegeta transform, Hit assumes a stance, and it's kind of like a really long standoff here, which I don't really have much of a problem with since we're actually into a meaningful fight. And it's a really long standoff, and it goes up to Goku and Piccolo, and they both note that based on Hit's fighting stance, he doesn't have any openings. Vegeta himself thinks the same thing, but then anyway, he decides that, he's not going to accomplish anything by just standing there, so he needs to do something. So what follows is a series of events where Vegeta, it seems he goes in to attack, and Hit, it's almost weird, it seems like maybe his fist might be causing some sort of special power to activate or something, but it's you'll see Vegeta goes into attack, and just right as he's about to land his blow, it's you don't even really see Hit move. It's just the next second, whatever is happening is happening. It's hard to explain it, but it's Vegeta goes into attack, and then the next frame, Hit is already has his fists in Vegeta's stomach hitting him. Now, right off the bat, having just watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I have to say this was a little familiar to the end of part 3 with Dio, and sure enough, it does appear as though it's going to be moving along that route. We'll get into that a little later. So, Vegeta even thinks okay, well, I can't see him move when he does this, so I'll stay back from a distance, and it looks as though Vegeta is preparing to use his Big Bang attack. Even at this distance, Hit is able to use whatever sort of special ability that he's able to do, surprising Vegeta that, Hit is capable of, using whatever technique he's using, even from a great distance. Beerus and Whis begin commenting, surprised that Champa had such a fighter waiting in his wings. Hit begins telling Vegeta to surrender, otherwise, some bad stuff might happen. And Beerus does note that every one of Hit's attacks is straight to one of Vegeta's vital points. Now, Vegeta thinks to himself that while he can't see or defend himself from Hit's attacks, he's still able to stand and fight, and he has some stamina left. So, he thinks that could possibly be his key to winning. So he flies in at Hit, and, Hit uses his ability, and, his hand is suddenly punching Vegeta in the stomach. But Vegeta then grabs Hit's wrist and goes in to presumably do a knockout blow. And then at that moment, all of a sudden, Vegeta is stunned, and it looks like Hit did some sort of really heavy attack to Vegeta's stomach. And Vegeta reverts down to normal and falls to the ground. Clearly, it seems that he has fallen and been beaten by Hit in what is a very relatively fast fight, I do have to say. Now, Hit asks the referee, like, killing is not allowed, right? And the referee's like, yeah. And then Hit explains that Vegeta doesn't even have the strength to surrender, so Hit's like, what should I do? And the referee declares Hit the winner. Now, before Hit walks away from Vegeta, he does say, you're the first person to take so many hits from me, as he, walks off. Goten, Trunks, and Krillin go down to Vegeta to try and help him out. Goku, tells Krillin to give Vegeta a sensu bean, so Krillin brought a bunch of sensu beans, clearly. I also do gotta mention, Krillin has been wearing this shirt for, the last 8 or so episodes. I think the first episode you see Krillin wearing this is episode 30. But Krillin, his shirt does just say tacos on it, which is fucking hilarious. Alright, so Goku asks Jacko, Jacko, were you able to see his attacks? And Jacko says no, and then further elaborates and says that the moment right before Hit attacks, he disappears completely, even to Jacko, who has such great eyes. Now, Goku begins to think, could he be an invisible man? And Jacko says no, because his clothes would still be there. And Goku further wonders if he's doing some sort of short burst teleportation, but he says even when he uses his instant transmission, it requires a huge amount of concentration, so that possibly is not what it is, because that Goku's not able to just instant transmission all over the place. Then the Galactic King, who's sitting next to Jacko, actually wonders aloud if Hit is using time skip, which he then begins to explain certain people are able to use this ability, where they're essentially able to stop time for 0.1 seconds. And, Goku's kind of like, oh, well, that, 0.1 seconds is not really that long. But Jacko says, if the person has an extraordinary amount of speed, that will be a huge decisive advantage. And that is true. I mean, think about how fast, the characters in Dragon Ball are moving. 0.1 seconds is certainly enough time. And it does seem quite clear that's what Hit is doing. And I sort of started to guess this because, like I said, I just have been watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But I gotta say, Hit is pretty cool and all that. But hey, my man Dio eventually got up to 9 seconds where he could stop time? So come on, Hit. You gotta get up on Dio's level, my man. 0.1 seconds. Hey, Dio and Jotaro are kings in that aspect. Then it goes over to Whis and Beerus, and Whis says that he's surprised that someone else besides him could manipulate time, which I actually find kind of fascinating because I wonder, is Vados able to manipulate time as well? Because I thought Vados and Whis were exactly the same. Vados was just a little stronger than Whis. It's not completely clear if he's, referring to besides us, me and my sister, or what. So I'm not too sure on if Vados has that same ability that Whis does. I guess, eventually I'm sure we'll find out. The Galactic King and Jacko, they do mention to Goku, though, that they don't have any clue how to counter Hit's time skip ability. And as Goku goes down to begin his battle, he asks Vegeta if Vegeta has any advice, and Vegeta just tells him to do his best. Which, really, this does seem like this is showing just how far Goku and Vegeta have come. I feel like in the past, Vegeta probably wouldn't have even answered at all, but Vegeta, telling Goku to do his best, that's not something, Cell Saga Vegeta would say. So, I did like this sort of, character development a little bit right here. Now, then it goes back over to Whis and Beerus, and Beerus is like, okay, Whis, you know how to counter this technique, tell him. And Whis kind of, wants Goku to find the solution himself because it'll be good training. And then, they let the bombshell happen here, where Beerus is kind of like, you're too easygoing in this situation. And Whis goes, oh, but we still have the strongest fighter of the 7th universe, Monica. And then Beerus says, even though you know the truth, And then Whis says, oh, could it be that in order to motivate Goku and Vegeta, you lied and brought a total amateur? So it's like, oh, shit. So Monica, this leads me to believe, is Monica just like, Beerus's homeboy? Like, are they playing like Yu-Gi-Oh cards on the side or something? And then Beerus just wanted to bring Monica along for the festivities? Like, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. Beerus and Monica like to play, Call of Duty on Tuesdays or something. It's like, what? I'm actually very excited to see what the deal is with Monica then. Like, Beerus having a friend does seem like a twist that I wasn't expecting, but would be kind of cool. And then Piccolo is standing there and overhears all of this, and his expression, he does one of his Piccolo expressions, Nani? Oh, fuck. And it's clear Piccolo could tell, like, oh, shit, okay, so if Goku doesn't win here, then we're gonna lose, and what's gonna happen is Champa is going to get control of, Universe 7's Earth. So the fight begins, and, Goku assumes a fighting stance, and Hit asks Goku, like, did you forget to transform? And Goku mentions, I actually find this fascinating, Goku mentions that, the Super Saiyan Blue transformation takes up a ton of stamina, so he wants to buy as much time as possible to save that stamina until he knows of a way to counter Hit's technique, which, okay, I can kind of buy this because, well, I don't know, because, if Goku and Vegeta trained in 3 years in the hyperbolic time chamber, at least since they were able to use Super Saiyan Blue, plus, at minimum, the year that passed between the Resurrection of Frieza arc and this arc, so it's conceivable there's been 4 years of training. I would think by this time they'd be able to master the transformation to Super Saiyan Blue, similar to their transformation to Super Saiyan. Regardless, though, the fact that the transformation requires a huge amount of stamina, it does... I like hearing this because this does give more weight to why, Goku and Vegeta haven't just been going Super Saiyan Blue constantly. Let's not, reveal our strongest power to this mystery fighter Hit. Fuck that. But the fact that there actually is, like a negative to using it, I'll buy that, and I appreciate that, and that explains why they haven't just been going crazy in that form. Now, Hit says, like, oh, so you must be a young and naive fighter to so casually reveal your strategy, and Goku, like, kind of laughs and says, like, oh, I'm much older than he looks, and Hit's like, oh, well, I'm over 1,000 years old, and then Goku's like, oh, shit, okay, you're way older than me, which is pretty funny. Then at this point, Goku does a series of, like, charges towards Hit to try and attack him, try and see what's going on, and Hit is using his time skip ability over and over, and he's, hitting Goku and doing damage, and Hit tells Goku, no matter how strong you are, you can't take, so many shots to your unguarded vital areas. Because it's in stop time, Goku or Vegeta, they're not able to defend themselves at all, so these hits to their vital areas, that does make sense, too. I think that's also a good explanation for why the fight with Vegeta and Hit was so quick, is because, Vegeta was taking big damage to his vital spots that he wasn't able to guard even 1%. So that actually does make a ton of sense. So after this, they continue, like, doing this a couple times, and then Goku reveals that he kind of figured out a hint how to counter Hit's attacks. And Goku charges at Hit, and then it's clear Hit uses his time skip ability, but this time you see Hit's fist going against Goku, who had blocked it. His hands are up, he blocked the hit. And then, Goku goes into attack, and, like, Hit uses his ability again, and then he has a scratch on his cheek, which surprises everyone. And then it's like, okay, so Goku, clearly is onto something here, and Goku says that what he's doing is predicting how Hit is going to move, 0.1 seconds after the time skip, and it does appear to be rather effective. So at this point, Goku tells him, like, how about you use your full power, and I will too. And then the episode ends just as we're about to get into that good shit. And then in the preview for the next episode, we see just more shots of Goku and Hit fighting, and we do see that Goku takes it up to his Super Saiyan Blue form. Obviously, that shit is very fucking hype.